Raw Review Mini, ladies and gentlemen. I got 3 things I gotta say. 3 things are gonna come from this show. I don't normally do more than 2. But it's gotta be stated. The first thing is the respect for the 2 people that died, and that's George and Ivan. George the Animal Steel and Ivan Koloff. Here's the thing. I've kind of struggled with this for the last hour or so to try and see how am I going to explain this. Because they were willing to do something for George, but they weren't willing to do something for Ivan. They wouldn't even say anything from the commentator team. They just showed his picture. That was it. And to be honest, I can see from a production standpoint the problem they had. It takes them a couple of days to get the clips they want, to get the voiceover they want, to show the respect they wanted. Because this happened on the 16th for George the Animal Steel. And Ivan Koloff died on the 18th. It was 2 days afterward. It was on a Saturday. So they had very little time to get this done before the next show. But let's be honest. Even though they could not get the clips ready for Ivan, they could have said something about him. Braxton Sutter, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole, that pain in the ass who botches his lines so much, it's worse than me. I botch a lot, but this man botches on a daily basis and makes it an art form. Shame it's not funny or fun. It's just terrible. But they could have at least said, we didn't have enough time to get our production team to set something up for Ivan Koloff. We're sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but we wanted to show respect that he deserved. Ivan is in our hearts. We love him. I felt it would have been more respectful. They could have forego Black History Month to show something about someone from their own promotion, WWF, and many others, Ivan Koloff. That's just how I felt. Now, taking that aside, we have 2 more things to talk about. The first one is Braun Strowman. Oh my gosh. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Ivan Koloff going against... I'm actually quite surprised. That's why I'm kind of botchy here, ladies and gentlemen, because let's be honest here. When you look at the Big Show, he's not a very fast guy. He's not a very agile guy. He can move around the ring well enough to somewhat put people over and himself. Now, in this case, the Big Show did put over Braun Strowman. There's no way that you can't deny it. Big Show doesn't always put people over all the time. He does in most cases, and then he doesn't in others. But you can say he's better than John Cena. That's the truth. He will put some people over. He won't put everyone over. I will say that about Paul White. At least he does kind of help the younger talent to a certain extent. To a certain extent. But when you see what he did with Braun Strowman, 1, he put him over. He worked his ass off in this ring. And he wasn't that great. You know he's not great in the ring right now. He's about my age. I'm going to be 46 this year. He's roughly about 44, 45 right now. I believe he's about a year younger than me or 2 years younger. So he's not doing so well in the ring anymore. He's nearing retirement. There's no way he's going to keep going for another 5 or 10 years. He's almost done with his stint in the WWE. But he worked hard in this ring. Well, that ring. He worked hard in that ring. And Braun Strowman, to his credit, carried that match. The kip up he did was very good. The power work he did was good. Selling when the Big Show was done was good. He worked very well. And let's be honest here. We need to be a little worried about Roman Reigns after the match was over for the simple reason that Braun Strowman drop kicked his ass into his arm hard. Hopefully he didn't break anything because Fastlane is next week. I'm hoping he didn't break his arm. Because he was shaking his arm really bad. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Cruiserweights. And this is going into Fastlane along with if, and this is if, Roman Reigns did not get hurt when Braun Strowman drop kicked him. We're looking at a match that I'm actually interested in seeing from the Cruiserweights. I have almost no interest, to be honest. They're wrestling the same. It's character development that is the most essential thing for me right now. And you look at Neville, who is really acting incredibly arrogant, like he believes he's a monarch, to a guy who is not a monarch. He's a gentleman, refinement, and grace. This is what I believe you're looking at. You're looking at Cockney, if I'm pronouncing it right, for the British. for anyone like Morgan Hyde, Sarah Hyde, you guys are going to watch this video. I hope you do. You can explain it to me and everyone else. There are parts of England, London, and other places that are rough, tough, that have an attitude. And there are some places that are refined. Guess what? That's in New York as well. You got the high class area and you got the down and dirty. And when you look at this as a contrasting styles, you're not just looking at their ring work. You're actually looking at the personality. You're looking at a guy who looks like he was from, what, maybe Yorkshire somewhere? If I'm correct, Yorkshire. I'm sorry. It might be a rough and tough place. If I'm wrong, there's got to be a place in England that is a rough and tough place, like Brooklyn in New York. And I got to say this to people. In New York, you got 5 boroughs. Manhattan, which is the high class area, even though they do have slums. Brooklyn, that is considered the roughest of all of the boroughs. The Bronx, that wants to be the roughest of all the boroughs, is pretty much close second. The problem between Bronx residents and Brooklyn residents is this. If no one's ever known this, a Bronx resident, like myself, I was actually born in Manhattan, but I'm living in the Bronx, we will curse you out and argue with you before we beat you up. In Brooklyn, you may not get that option. They may say one word to you and then they beat you up. There is a stark difference. A Brooklynite will probably beat your butt up faster than a Bronx resident because they tend to talk too damn much. And this is what we're seeing in this match between Galahurst and Neville. I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to play out because the character of Galahurst is going to conflict with the character of Neville. When they come in the ring, I don't think it's just going to be all ring work. It's got to be character. So that's what I'm looking for in this Fastlane match. But this is just my point of view. You guys tell me below, and I hope you enjoyed this little, well, I'm about to say little slice of Raw. I don't do that anymore. This is Raw Review Mini for February 20th, I believe 19th or 20th. I can't even remember anymore. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace. And watch for reality wrestling. Hopefully I can get it done tomorrow. See ya.